ESPN.
Okay. Okay. That's the guy who.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I love this guy.
Yes.
Okay. So Stephen A. Smith, he's given a talk. He's on a panel. And he says things that every American should hear. Listen to this.
I have often said, and I'm not talking about President Obama, I'm just talking about the times we're living in. I have often said that from a political perspective, what I dream is that for one election, just one, every black person in America vote Republican.
It's a little bit hard to hear, but he said he dreams that for just one election, every black person in America would vote Republican. Now, that's got to be a shocking statement from Stephen A. Smith, but he explains it.
Want me to tell you why I feel that way? Because from what I've read, and I'm open to correction, but from what I read, Barry Goldwater is going against Lyndon B. Johnson. He's your Republican candidate. He is completely against the civil rights movement. Lyndon B. Johnson was in favor of it, civil rights legislation. What happens is he wins office, Barry Goldwater loses office, but there was a Senate, a Republican Senate.
So he's explaining that Barry Goldwater and Lyndon B. Johnson were running against each other for president in 1964. Goldwater opposed civil rights, and obviously Lyndon Johnson came around to, he doesn't explain this part, came around to supporting civil rights.
The reason why the Civil Rights Act did not pass in the 1950s under a Republican president is because Lyndon Johnson
and others
blocked it.
And other Democrats.
Yeah, but Lyndon Johnson was the leader of it. He blocked it along with other Democrats in the Senate in the 1950s. So the reason why we had to have Martin Luther King is because Lyndon Johnson blocked it along with other Democrats in the 1950s. The Republicans proposed it.
And that's what he's saying here is that the Republican Congress, not just the Senate, but the House too, they're the ones who pushed through the legislation for Johnson to sign, finally.
That pushed the votes to the president's desk. It was the Democrats who were against civil rights legislation.
Yes.
But because
the Democrats were the ones who opposed civil rights legislation.
Yeah, and the guy, that one of the moderators points out the thing that always has to be pointed out at all times when you're talking about this is, no, well, it was a Dixiecrats. It was a
Southern Dixiecrats.
I'm sorry, you don't get to just get rid of the people in your party because you don't like retroactively what they voted for in the past. Because you can't just call them, they try to make Dixiecrats out to be another party because now they're trying to distance themselves for what they stood for at that time. They were Democrats. Democrats, not Dixiecrats, Democrats.
And by the way, if they didn't control the party, it would have passed. So they were the prevailing view in the party.
Yeah, and
no question.
It's just they always do that. It's like to.
And how come you don't call Lyndon Johnson a Dixiecrat?
Yeah,
because he gets credit for it.
That's right.
Yeah, they want to.
But he was one of the leaders of it. He was literally a Dixiecrat. Hello.
Yeah.
The Southern Dixiecrat, right? So because the president, Lyndon B. Johnson, was a Democrat, Black America assumed the Democrats were for it. Do you know that since 1964, the Black America hasn't given the Republican Party more than 15% of its vote?
Did you guys know that? That since 64?
Is that true?
I haven't looked that up yet. We got to look
that
at
up, Jeffy.
That blacks have not given the Republican Party more than 15% of the vote since 1964. That's stunning, if true.
Here's what that means. What that means is one party, the black folks in America are telling one party, we don't give a damn about you. They're telling the other party, you got our vote. Therefore, you have labeled yourself disenfranchised because one party knows they got you under their thumb, the other party knows they'll never get you, and nobody comes to address your interest. So my point is, when you go buy a house, do you look at one? When you are looking for a car, do you look at one? When you want to buy some clothes, when you want to buy some shoes, when you want to buy anything, you're shopping around. You know what you're saying to somebody? Flatter me. what you got. Let me see what you have to go from. We don't do that with politics. And then we blame white America for our disenfranchisement when it is us.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
It's amazing.
No, that is accurate, by the way.
It is accurate.
It looks. I mean, Jeez. I'm looking at it. I can't see exactly every year, but it's certainly.
So his point is really quite valid. Why would anybody pay attention? Why would, if you're not going to get more than 15%?
Republicans know they don't. You
don't have a chance.
It's useless to go after the black vote.
You've told, as you said, you've told one party that we
don't care about you.
We don't care about you, and then you told the other party you've got us no matter what. So who cares about you?
Now the mentality of what can you do for us doesn't really fit with us.
Can you imagine going into a car dealership and you telling the car dealer, there's only two car dealers in the town. And you going in and saying, I will never, ever do business with that other car dealership. Ever. Ever. Now, what's the best deal you can give me on this car? I'm not, that's the best I can do. That's the best I can do.
Sticker price is the
best I can do. And you know what? Sticker price, but
in fact, the price just went up.
I've got to add a couple of things that aren't on the sticker because we've done some things after. Honestly, that's what it.
I mean, you after about the other guy.
After about 4 cars, maybe 3 cars, I charge sticker the first time. If I'm, an unscrupulous guy, and I'm sure no politician is like this, but if I'm an unscrupulous guy and you've told me I will buy no car from anyone else, you're the only one I'll buy a car from. How much can you give me off that sticker? What's the real price of the car? I'm sorry, but dude, I got to go sticker. By the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th car that I sell you, I am making stuff up that I'm putting on top of the sticker. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? This has a special sealant on the, and I put it all on.
Cam.
I mean, know, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, the other dealers don't do that. We do that. We put this special sealant on. And it's going to protect you and your car, and it's going to be amazing. It's an invisible Nerf sealant that we've patented it ourselves, and so your family's going to be really, really happy.
But I'm
chain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains. He said he's going to do nothing.